thank you very much for the invitation to come along to today's conference. I was meant to be at the Scottish Cabinet today. It meets in Cumnock, so the choice was between Dumfries and Dumfries House. And I'm delighted that I was able, with the First Minister's permission, to come to this conference as well, because I know the work and the expectation that's gone on in relation to putting this conference together. This is, I think, the third time in a month that I've been in this very hall. When I was here last month, it was for the National Economic Forum, where we focused on the rural economy. Some excellent discussions, especially in the breakout groups that day. And it just gives me the sense that, in the other event I was here for, which was a party political event, which turned out very well, both of those events and the audience today give a real sense that something is stirring here. There is a real focus on the challenges which we have in this area, but also the possibilities. So I'm sure that today will provide an opportunity for stimulating and productive discussion. And I see from the conference today that it's brought together a very diverse range of people with different experiences and expertise. You are quite clearly united in your enthusiasm for ensuring a positive future for the area and your willingness to share ideas. Now, growth deals are a relatively new part of the economic development landscape in Scotland. They do have the potential to be transformational, drawing together exciting packages of investment, and they can help regional economies thrive and contribute to the overall economy. I, for my part, and the Scottish Government's part, want to ensure that everyone benefits from the new opportunities that a growth deal can bring, making sure they deliver inclusive growth to our communities. And the Scottish Government has the ambition to see growth deals take place across the whole of Scotland. We already have city-region deals in Glasgow, Inverness and Aberdeen. Heads of terms are signed for Edinburgh and the South East, and also for Stirling and Clackmannanshire as recently as around a fortnight ago. We're also confident that we'll see heads of terms agreed for the Tay Cities deal very shortly, and that deal will mean that all of the cities and the regions surrounding them have been given growth deals and city-region deals. Those 5 agreed deals that we've committed to so far amount to £1.4 billion of a contribution from the Scottish Government, ranging over a 10 to 20-year period. The UK Government has contributed a £1.04 billion. So between the two governments, £2.44 billion of investment. And on top of that, of course, is the contribution from the partners, councils and others. So you can see how significant and substantial these growth deals can be. We want to try and build on that successful approach to deals and take it beyond the cities. We're working with the 3 Ayrshire councils who are currently refining their proposals, and I hope that we can conclude heads of terms with those councils during 2018. There's also early work going on for proposals for Moray, for Falkirk, the Islands and Argyll and Bute. And of course, agreeing the deal for the Borderlands is a part of our commitment to have 100% coverage across the whole of Scotland. But this Borderlands inclusive growth deal is unique. It comes from a cross-border partnership of 5 local authorities, 2 in Scotland and 3 in England. And as we've heard, it focuses on an area larger than Wales and a population of over 1 million people. It's an area with a predominantly rural economy. And the Borderlands deal comes from a long history of cooperation between the north of England and the south of Scotland. We have a strong and enduring friendship with ties of culture, commerce and trade. And we recognise that a prosperous region brings benefits for everybody. So the Scottish Government has worked closely with the Borderlands Partnership since its inception. Indeed, we worked with the 5 local authorities to launch the Borderlands Initiative when the Scottish Government's Cabinet met in Hawick in August 2013. And some 9 months later, the first Borderlands Initiative Summit was held in Peebles. So we clearly recognise the potential economic cooperation across the border and the opportunities it could bring. So the Borderlands Inclusive Growth Deal is the next important step to cementing that cooperation. And the Scottish Government has made clear our support for a proposed Borderlands deal in our budget statement. And we look forward to negotiating the detail of the deal when the partners are ready with their proposals. Now, I know there's already been a great deal of hard work by the Borderlands partners to develop the potential content of the deal. In setting out the scope of the deal, those partners have developed a number of themes for the deal that can make a real impact on the area's economy. Projects that respond to the needs and opportunities of this distinctive rural economy. And it is very important, in my experience, in the deals that I've been involved in, that the process itself can be the most valuable part of it. Of course, everybody will have an eye on the money that can come forward and the projects that can be supported. But if you set out with an idea of trying to achieve something transformative, that process will go much wider than just the projects and the monies that come into the deal. That really is the key to city-region deals and wider growth deals. The deal needs to focus on priorities that will make a difference and, of course, help the economy thrive, with businesses across the area growing and succeeding. So the partners have been discussing key themes: energy, digital, transport, business growth, destination borderlands, place, rural productivity and skills and innovation, and of course the potential projects that might form part of those themes, with a range of interesting suggestions being developed. And I, for my part, agree that those themes feel to me to be the right ones to focus on, to explore further and to see where we can draw out specific projects. We want to see an ambitious deal that focuses on driving inclusive growth, and perhaps I could start by posing some questions as you think about the scope of the deal. First of all, how might it help address the area's connectivity challenges? Physical ones of transport, of course, but also virtual ones of broadband and mobile. And how can the deal support growth in sectors that are particularly important in the Borderlands area, or where there are particular strengths: tourism, farming, forestry and energy? And how can the deal help create more opportunities for all, including our young people, to address population decline and to attract people to the area? And hard though the partners have been working, and they have been, it's very important that they hear the perspectives of local people and businesses. The deal needs to be informed by what the people and businesses of the Borderlands want to see. Now, today's conference is an important part of the partners' engagement process, and it builds on other meetings and events, including in Scotland, the 26 town hall events run by the South of Scotland Economic Partnership and hosted by its chair, Russell Griggs, who's with us today. And that process helped out draw views on priorities for the South of Scotland and for Borderlands. So before I close, if I can just say a little bit about how our priorities for the South of Scotland align with the deal for the Borderlands. We recognise the unique circumstances in the South of Scotland, a different economy requiring a different approach. We have committed in the Scottish Government to establishing a new enterprise agency for the area to bring that fresh approach to economic development with a focus on inclusive growth, fair work and supporting resilient communities. Now, it is the case the two governments have taken different approaches. We have focused on and prioritised what we call inclusive growth, essentially the idea that everyone gets a chance to be part and the opportunity to be part of growth, but also fair work. Elaine mentioned the issue with low wages in the economy as well, and that's part of the fair work commitment, but also supporting resilient communities. And we will also introduce legislation later this year, and with parliamentary approval, we expect the new agency for this area to be up and running by the 1st of April in 2020. In the meantime, we have established the South of Scotland Economic Partnership to ensure that the area benefits from a fresh approach in advance of the agency coming into being. And the partnership brings together the public sector with the private, third and education sectors to take forward our prioritised work plan, deliver effective stakeholder engagement and to help pave the way for the new agency. And we have to ensure that the priorities for the agency and the South of Scotland are properly aligned with the priorities for the Borderlands. And that's why having these 26 meetings and involving both initiatives in that discussion has been so important. And if we manage to achieve that alignment, then we can maximise impact and success. And we expect the activities of the agency and the investment in the deal to be complementary, helping to unlock opportunities and support the sort of growth we all want to see. And as part of our commitment to that, of course, we have allocated in our budget an initial £10 million this year to help the partnership take on some of the projects which many people have proposed. So I hope very much that you enjoy today's conference, and I would encourage you to make the most of the opportunity to bring forward your views and your opinions. and I look forward to seeing proposals come to both the Scottish and UK governments later in the year so we can take forward the detailed negotiations required to agree the heads of terms. My notes say I'm sure that the Secretary of State will set out his ambitions for concluding the deal, and I'm sure he will, or on his behalf, that Oliver will today. But I would just want to emphasise that both governments are committed to making the deal happen, and that we agree on the need for a collaborative approach, an effective partnership and clearly aligned priorities. So let's hope the Borderlands deal progresses as well as I'm sure that England will do in the World Cup and in their opening game against Tunisia tonight. Like England, I would wish you all very well and look forward to seeing the results of what I think will be a vigorous and informative discussion as it helps to inform the Borderlands Inclusive Growth Deal. Thank you very much and enjoy the conference.